I was on a late evening train, exhausted from work, earbuds in, mentally checked out. It wasn't crowded, but a man in his 30s sat down beside me even though plenty of seats were open. Weird, but whatever. A few minutes later, I felt him looking at me. Not in a creepy way, more like he was trying to figure out if he recognized me. I ignored it until he quietly said, "Hey, do people still call you Peanut?" My entire body went cold. No one had called me that since I was 8. It was a nickname from my childhood, from a time and place I never really talked about. Only family and one person outside it ever used it. I slowly pulled out my earbuds. "I'm sorry," I said. "Do I know you?" He smiled a little, like he was bracing for my reaction. "It's Alex," he said, "from Willow Creek. We used to ride our bikes behind the old grocery store." My heart dropped. Alex, my neighbor from when I was a kid, my first best friend. The boy who used to swap snacks with me, climb trees with me, and once spent an entire summer trying to teach me to whistle. His family moved overnight when we were 10. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. I stared at him, stunned. His eyes were older, his face sharper, but there was no mistaking him. "You just disappeared," I whispered. He nodded. "My mom had to get us out fast. Things were bad at home. I wanted to say goodbye, but we didn't have time." There was a heaviness in his voice I didn't ask him to explain. We spent the next few minutes in this surreal bubble, catching up on 20 lost years in a space barely big enough for two people. He told me he'd moved back to the city recently for work and had spent weeks wondering if he'd ever bump into someone from our childhood. "I saw you get on the train," he said softly. "I thought I was imagining it, but then you dropped your keys and I heard you mumble exactly the same way you did when you were a kid." I laughed, embarrassed and somehow touched. We talked until the train reached my stop. Right before I got up, he said, "I always wondered if you were okay. I'm really glad you made it out of that neighborhood." I swallowed hard. Not many people knew what growing up there was actually like. "Yeah," I said quietly, "I did." He hesitated, then added, "If you ever want to catch up properly, I'd really like that." I gave him my number before stepping off. As the train doors closed, he tapped the window and mouthed the nickname I once hated but suddenly didn't mind hearing again. Peanut. I walked home smiling like I was 10 years old again. Sometimes strangers aren't strangers. Sometimes they're pieces of your past waiting to find their way back.